Welcome to Our Girl Relationships. We talk about the problems people face in their day-to-day lives. Let's start with the video. So, me and my brother Calvin have been living with my dad since my mother left. It's been more than 8 years now. My dad got this sickness about 3 years ago. He tried his best. We all tried our best, but we were too late. No doctors could help him. He died 3 weeks ago. We have been living with my aunt since then, but my Aunt Susie said that she cannot have us forever and that we will have to move with my mother. I hated her. She left us without even looking back. It was so horrible growing up with my dad's new girlfriends every year. She never bothered to contact or call on birthdays or anything. She did not even show up to our dad's funeral. I bet the authorities forced her to take her children in. Otherwise, she would never have agreed to ever see us again. My mother came to pick us from Aunt Susie's house. She hugged both of us and said that she missed us, which was definitely a lie because she has got a new family. She has a husband, other children that she takes care of. No wonder she never wanted to talk to us. She replaced us with her new kids. Her house is so much bigger than ours, and yet she made me and my brother James share a room. I am a 16-year-old girl. I need privacy, and her stepkids, who are barely 6 or 7, have their own personal bedrooms. When I asked her to get one for myself, she told me that it was not my father's house, and I should be grateful for whatever her husband Gary is doing for us. I cried that night, so did James. How could she be so heartless to her own kids? She loves her stepchildren. She did not even give birth to them, and yet she feeds them with her hands and plays with them. I was the same age as them when she left us. I hate living here. There's curfew. She would not let any of my friends come over and always making me work around the house. So when she asked me to nanny her stepkids because she had a date with their father, I refused, but she pulled out "It is because of me that you have a roof over your head. Your dirt poor father left you both with nothing but debt." And if not for her and her new husband, we would have been going through foster homes. She left the kids and said, if I did not take care of them, it will turn out bad for me. So I decided to do something. I took the kids to her room and gave them paints and brushes and said it was a drawing competition. They can paint on the walls or floors or sheets or mirrors. And they can also use whatever they find in their mom's vanity. In about an hour's time, her room was a mess. Then I went into her closet and asked them which dress would make a perfect canvas, that they should make something beautiful on their mother's dresses, that she would be so happy. Her stuff looked exactly the way I wanted it to when the kids fell asleep. I took them to their room and put them into bed, and then myself went to bed smiling and satisfied with my work. I woke up the next morning with my mother screaming and cursing my name. She was in the room of her stepkids yelling at them for ruining her expensive things when I saw her husband making her shut up and asking how dare she talk to his kids in that voice and that it was her daughter's fault that she could not take care of 2 small kids. I was not mad at all. He yelled at her. They were having a fight. That is what I wanted. When she saw me in the doorway smiling to myself, she lunged towards me, slapping me right across the face. The kids started crying harder, scared of my mother. I held my cheek and then held her gaze. I did not regret it a bit. She called me names and my father's daughter and all the things and then shut up. But I was still not done. The next time she went out, they took the kids with them. So I decided to do it myself. I trashed the house. She loved this house so much. She left me and my dad for it. I broke everything. And the TV, fridge, the windows. I wanted her to regret treating me the way she had. It was all a mess. I got a million cuts in the process too, but I did not care. I told my brother to hide in the room and not come out. I passed out in the living room in between the mess before they came home. The next thing was me waking up in an ambulance covered in bandages. I wanted to see the look on her face, but they never let me see her. They took me to the police station, kept me in some sort of juvenile jail, and then 3 days later, I saw Aunt Susie coming to pick me up. I'm mad at having to be stuck with me again, but she was my godmother. I asked her when are they sending James back, to which she told me that they are not sending him to her. He will stay with my brother until 18, and that I am not even allowed to see them. She said my mother begged her husband to not press charges because what I committed was a felony and psychotic. Her husband, after a lot of begging, agreed to not press charges, but he said he will not take me in, and thus I was with her. I could not care less about what my mother did or begged or whatever, but they are keeping James. He is a very quiet and scared kid. He will not be able to live there with them without me. I begged Aunt Susie to take him in too, that I will take care of him and that I will take a part-time job, but I cannot let him be alone there. He does not even remember our mother. She left so soon. He has only known me, and we need to get him out of there. She said that she can't, and it is unlikely they will let another kid live with me after how I treated my mother's stepkids. Did I really do something that bad? Because I have no regrets on it. But it took my brother away from me, and I cannot live with that. I cannot even imagine how alone he must be feeling there. I need to get him out. Should I apologize? I turned 18 yesterday, and I realized so many things. I was so wrong at what I did. I was just going through a hard time, I guess. But I tried to be better for my brother. After what happened, they did not let me even see him, let alone let him come live with me and Aunt Susie. I tried calling my mother or even going to her husband's office to apologize. After months of begging and begging, they finally let me see him. I cried so hard, hugging him. I begged him to forgive me for what I did and that I had to leave him alone, that I should have thought of that before doing something so reckless. I promised him that I will take him out of there, and I did try my best. I begged my mother to let him come to Aunt Susie's, but she refused. I even asked her to take me back in so that I could be there for him, that I will do nothing like what I did before, and I will be grateful for everything. But I need to stay with James. He looked so alone. She did not even budge. I asked Aunt Susie to try again, but she also would not. She hated me being there enough to want to take in another kid. I worked. I took jobs and studied so hard. My studying thing did not work, but I just stuck to the jobs and making money so that I could get out of Aunt Susie's as soon as I turned 18, and I did. The first thing I did yesterday was to pack my bags and move into a studio apartment I saw a couple of weeks ago. Aunt Susie was so excited to see me go. She did not even get out of her room, just told me to never come back, asking for money. I was never close to her or attached or anything. I was happy I finally get to be on my own. The only thing she provided was a roof anyway. I took care of my own meals, my school, and my other supplies. She never gave me a penny. But I was more excited about becoming an adult for James than I was for moving out. I can finally apply for being James's legal guardian now that I have a place to stay, 2 stable jobs, and a high school degree. I never had plans to go to college, nor can I afford it, so it gives me more money to take care of James. I pointed out all these things, and they said they will let me know if my application gets approved. Then I went to meet James after his school. He is starting his freshman year this year. I told him about the new place and me trying to get him to come live with me. He was so happy and desperately hopes it gets approved. He said it sucks living with mother and her husband. He always picks at him and calls him mute during the dinners, and my mother just lets him. She never talks to him or goes to school meetings. She has been an awful mother, her own kids at least. To her stepkids, whose father pays for her expensive bags and makeup, to those kids, she has been an amazing mother. I told him to endure it a few more days, and then we will be better off without them. So, am I still the a-hole for doing what I did to her when I was 16? Absolutely. That was horrible what you did or made those innocent kids do. You need to get some therapy, girl. Saying all that and sounding proud of that is not how a sane person rolls. You are the a-hole, in my opinion. NTA, but you did kind of sound like you were struggling mentally, and it was not your mother's fault. Certainly not those children's. It is good that you learned and got your life together eventually, but if you were still wondering about being an a-hole for that, you are the a-hole for trashing the house just because you did not get enough attention from your mom. Apart from that, I understand what you went through, and you grew up beautifully. I hope you have a good life, but please join the therapy and make your brother have it too. I'm an 18-year-old male, and my friends are practical jokers. When they come over, they hide things like my batteries for my electronics, or they put my AirPods in 2 different places. Or they replace the silverware in my cabinet with plasticware, which is annoying, but whatever. A couple of times we'll go out to eat and they will say, "Well, I forgot my wallet," after getting stupid expensive food, and I have to pay. A little while ago, I couldn't find my cat, and I was frantically looking around before they were like, "Ah ha ha ha, it's just a prank, bro," and opened my cup cabinet to let him out. I told them one more prank and I'm cutting them out, and they were like, "Relax, it's just a prank, bro." I'm a DC nerd, and I couldn't wait to go see the Batman. One of my friends said they were getting everyone tickets and food, and not to worry because it was covered. I brought my wallet just in case. We got there, and I was the only one who he didn't buy a ticket for. They all started making a loud scene, laughing and stuff, and it was really embarrassing. I went to get a ticket, but they were sold out. I started crying from embarrassment a little, and that set them off even more, pointing at me and calling me a crybaby. I left and went home and just ate ice cream and felt bad for myself. I was going to forgive and forget, but in every group chat that I shared with them, senior group chat, work chat, friend group chat, they had uploaded vids of me crying in the theater with the caption, "Piss baby." So I decided I was done, and I just sent them all a text that said, "I ain't doing it no more," and blocked them on everything. They, of course, started in with, "It's just a prank, dude. Don't be so sensitive." But I was done. One mutual friend who isn't really in our group said it was a bit much to completely cut them out because it was just a dumb prank and that they rely on me sometimes for food and gas money. I said no, they completely embarrass me in front of strangers and our entire graduating class. Some of their pranks even tip to being dangerous. I'm tired of their BS, but this is causing a lot of drama and it was just a dumb prank. Am I the a-hole? NTA, those aren't pranks. They're just being a-holes and trying to pretend it's humor. Ditch them and find a better quality of people to hang out with. NTA, they rely on you for food and gas money, yet treat you like crap. You definitely need a new set of friends. These friends are the AHs. They are singling you out for the pranks. That is disrespect. Do they prank each other this way? It looks like they single you out as the butt of their abuse. Leave them blocked and find new friends. These jerks have never been your friends. It's a hard realization, but everyone has experienced this, so it's not because you're autistic that you didn't realize it before now. As for your other friend who says they rely on you for money and rides, kick that one to the curb too. You deserve better friends, and while it does take time to build a new circle, you'll be better off without these losers. Keep focused on you and what's best for you, and you will come out ahead. I'm a 20-year-old female, and my brother, Cam, 25, has been dating his girlfriend, June, 26, for a year and a half. Cam works in a warehouse, 1 hour, 30 minutes away by train, and so he's gone before Jane wakes up and often comes home pretty late, so him and Jane don't get much bonding time. Around 5 months ago, there was an issue with the trains where we lived, and many were delayed, meaning Cam had to get a hotel room overnight a few times a week. He had called Jane about it, but she never picked up or looked at his texts. He just assumed that she was asleep or busy as it was pretty late. Well, Jane has seen all his texts and calls, but assumed decided he had been cheating, and so decided to switch his lube to an oil-based one. For those of you who don't know, oil-based lube mixed with latex condoms deteriorates the material and makes it an ineffective barrier. You might as well go raw. Well, Jane put the lube and condoms in a travel bag in the wardrobe and checked them every day when she got up to see if Cam had moved them. After 5 months, they hadn't, and I guess Jane forgot about it. Then they had sex and used the unlucky combination, and Jane got pregnant. We only found out about all this because Jane spilt it to Cam, and Cam was obviously upset and left to mull it over. He's currently crashing at our parents' house, where I am also currently living. Yesterday, Jane showed up at the house, and whilst I was home alone, asked to talk to Cam. I said he wasn't there, and she broke down and said she felt super guilty about it and that she doesn't want to be a single mother. She asked If I was Cam, would I ever forgive her? And I replied, well, what you did was dumb and deceitful, so no. She broke down even more and after a few minutes left. I felt guilty, but what did she expect? She went out of her way to change the lube so it would make contraception ineffective. Did she want this hypothetical mistress to get pregnant? When Mom and Cam got back, I told them Jane had been round looking for Cam. I told them what I said, and Mom did the whole full name, you're in trouble voice. She said I was out of line for tormenting a pregnant woman. Cam wasn't super pleased about the whole situation and said that I should have just said nothing. Now they're both mad at me. AITA? NTA, I don't think you're an a-hole. I think you're correct. Also, you're sticking up for your brother. However, you should have minded your own business. I bet your brother goes back to her. I wouldn't hate her. If she actually learns from this, she may be a good wife and mother. But you don't know what your brother wants to do, so you should have kept your mouth closed. Still, I don't think you're the a-hole, just rash. NTA, she played stupid games and won stupid prizes. She clearly talked to you looking for a right answer, and you're not obligated to indulge her crap. Sure, you can be nicer, but if someone pulled that crap on my brother, I would have zero sympathy for them too. Depending on where you are in the world, what she did, intentionally damaging contraceptives, constitutes sexual assault. Frankly, your brother should be pushing for sole custody instead of having his kids be raised by someone like her. She asked, you answered. You didn't create that mess. NTA, your brother's ex-girlfriend caused all of the problems that they are dealing with now because she didn't and doesn't trust your brother. We don't know what else happened between them, so we only have this small piece that sounds like she had no trust in her partner. Your brother might want to consider the fact that guilty people often project their bad behavior onto others. If she accused him of cheating, it could mean that she was cheating or thinking about it. If she decides to have the baby, a DNA test would be a good idea. Tampering with birth control is a crime in some jurisdictions, reproductive coercion. I hope your brother finds a better partner in the future. If he decides to try to salvage this relationship, they really should get couples counseling.